Today I'm going to show you how to set up a games console, and the first thing you got to do is make sure you got all the components ready to set it up properly. There ain't too many wires and whatnot needed in the whole setup of it. You need the actual games console. Today we're using a PS4. You need a HDMI cable. This is what's going to be used to connect the PS4 to your TV screen, and obviously your power cable. And an option, you don't have to do this because the PS4 is built in Wi-Fi, but to get better connection for online games you can use an Ethernet cable. First things first, what we're going to do is look at the back of the PlayStation here, and we're going to hook up the main power cable into this back two-pronged port over here. Basically that right there will just slot in easy, and then plug your power cable into the mains. I've already got one set up, so I'm not going to do that, but that'd be the next stage in it. And then following that, you just take your HDMI cable, plug that again into the back. We've got a port right there, just above the power cable. Slot in nicely, and then into your TV. Now your TV might have several ports, so when trying to find the channel for it, you might have to flick through. I'll show you that in a sec. But the last factor to actually just plugging it in would be using your Ethernet cable. I tend to use an Ethernet cable more than going wireless because obviously you want the better connection. And again, just straight in the back, it'll just prop in nicely, and then jobs are good. But like I said, I've already got a PlayStation set up, so I'm just going to turn that on now. Controller, main power button, console should turn on. Now if we direct you to the screen, you might have several HDMI ports to look at. HDMI 1, 2 and 3. Mine's set up already into 3, so I'm just going to transfer over to HDMI 3. And then it's just booting up now. We're going to select our profile and then go into setting up an online game. So here we've got several profiles. I'm just going to use my personal one. So this is the main console's UI. This is where we can choose all the options we want, go to the store, games or whatever. And just in today's video we're just going to choose the game. Just let that boot up. Now you might run into a few problems along the way, but we'll go through them at the end in a troubleshooting section. Now we're just coming into the main games UI here, so this will be the main menu of the game, and we can select online and then hopefully get into a match. Right, so here we're in the main menu. We've got all our different options here that we can choose, and we're going to go into Ultimate Team, an online feature of the game. This then takes us to the play feature. You can play offline or online, but for the purpose of the video we're going to do an online game. So we go over to Online Seasons, Play Match, Advance, and away you go. You can tell we're in a game because we're getting a latency bar here. Checks your connection, would be good to go. I could accept that and then I'd be in the game, but obviously for the remainder of the video I'm not going to accept it. We're going to quit out, and we're going to mention some problems you might have whilst trying to connect your console up and get on an online game. And the first problem you might have is it ain't even turning on. That could be anything from just your actual power cable not being plugged into the mains, or not being forced hard enough into the back of the system itself. And then obviously you're going to come on to connecting it to your TV. And when using HDMI cables, they can be a bit loose sometimes, so again, just make sure it's in there. Make sure you're on the right HDMI cable setting on the TV itself, and then you should be good to go. In terms of connecting it online, the system itself, if you're running wirelessly, you're going to need to enter all your Wi-Fi passwords and that for your router, or if you're doing hardwired, it's as simple as plug it in there, plug that into the back of your router, and you're away. Otherwise, that should be pretty much it for setting it up as an online game. The disc itself, I mean, if that's scratched, you're obviously not going to be able to play the disc and it might be unreadable. Otherwise, you should be fine. Just check that your controllers before you go on, all charged up so they're okay to go. And then that should be it. You'll be in an online game.